So today we are going to speak about how to tackle AI chatbot project. We'll show you a step-by-step approach. We'll speak about different details to help you start an AI chatbot project for your enterprise. My name is Samuel. I'm from One Inside, obviously, and today I'm with Clemens, my colleague.
So hi, also from my side. My name is Clemens Blumer. I'm software architect at One Inside, and I'm responsible for the chatbot topic and all the AI topics.
Exactly. So he is the expert, and I'm the guy who will ask questions. But before going into detail of our methodology and plan, why we wanted to share this methodology with you, and because in fact, basically, we understood that enterprise, our customer and prospect are still have some challenges with when it comes to AI chatbot project. Some stuff are not clear for them, like what is machine learning, what is AI chatbot, what means training data, what means intent. So we won't speak about that in detail today, but maybe Clemens, you can maybe a bit explain what, in few sentences, what is the AI chatbot and these few terms that I just listed.
Okay, so the AI chatbot uses artificial intelligence for getting the intention of the user. So it incorporates machine learning, and this differentiates it from the classical rule-based chatbots. And yeah, it's a new topic for the customers, and also together with everything which belongs to chatbot, also this dialogue style of communication is a rather new field, and businesses are not yet used how to tackle such projects.
Exactly, because there is new, let's say, topics or fields with AI chatbot, there is as well new activities in your project that you should take care of. And that's why today we would like to share with you a plan. So this is the plan. I might display it from time to time during the presentation. This is the let's say our step five steps plan. So step one, when we start the project, it's like understanding your idea and defining a roadmap. That is the first step, making from your ideas a roadmap. The step two will be turning this roadmap into a proper plan, basically defining and designing the solution. The step three, it will be to design the chatbot and the conversation, really building the solution. Then step four is before going live, we have to train the bot, and we will speak about training data. And finally, when it's live, step five, which is quite important as well, maybe the most important one, in fact, is to continue to optimize your solution and enhance the conversation. So these are the 5 steps in our approach, and we will now explain each of the steps. Yes, exactly. So let me go back to the full screen. So it might be nicer. So the step one. So step one is from idea to roadmap. So here, basically, it can take the shape of several workshops over 1 or 2 weeks or 1 month. But it's really discussing with you, understanding your vision, what you would like to do, understanding your goals as a company, what you would like to achieve, why you want to open this new channel, and basically defining why you want to use a chatbot. Clemens, something to add on step one?
Yeah, so I think step one is, so it's not a complicated step, but it's really important to take the time so that all people which are involved in the project get on the same level, so that everybody talks about the same stuff, knows how the principles of the chatbot and AI work, and also gets the knowledge for the business, what is around there. So also from customer side, but also from implementation side, if you have a partner in the project. So it's really the starting point to move together and to share the knowledge and to build the team, basically, to start to build a team.
Exactly, yeah. And as well, speaking about business cases, because with a chatbot, you could do many things. I mean, there is different few business cases that I can enumerate, like lead generation or customer support as well. So also this must be tackled during this first step, understanding what kind of business cases are important for you. And then you will see that we will in fact focus on few ones at the beginning and not try to make a too big solution, but really focus on something really smaller at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. It's also the time point where you have the chance really to see how should your vision look like? So you take really a long time journey also, but then to get back to the short time, what you really want to achieve. And that's really an important step, because often the task is, okay, we need a chatbot, let's build one.
Right.
But it's only technology. You need the business case for it.
Yes, exactly. So step one, we sit all together with different experts, with stakeholders from the business, and we gather ideas. We think about what could be the vision. At the end of this step, we have a rough idea of the roadmap, some more precise idea of what we want to build next. And this is when the steps two arrive or comes. I mean, then now people have a better understanding of what they would like to build. And in steps two, we have to design the solution. There is various streams that we have to tackle together, like creating the different features or defining the user stories, thinking about the interface, how you want to integrate the chatbot in your website. Also speaking about backend integration. So if you want to leverage third-party data from core system, also this can be designed at this step, in step two, when we design the solution. And a key point as well is designing the conversation. So here we might make a pause now and highlight this activity in more detail. What means designing conversation?
Okay, so the chatbot has this conversational style. So it's really the interactive part where the customer talks with the system and gets an answer. And if we are designing the conversations, it's about how we want to drive the customer through a journey. So we try to push him really through a journey which we think of might be useful to achieve the solution, so to solve his problem or to get the lead or whatever. And it's important to find the best solution, so the best conversation journey which gets designed in that phase.
Yeah. So really here it's about understanding the customer journey. Exactly. This is the point. Yeah. And understanding what kind of questions your customer might ask. This will help us to build the conversation, to foresee questions and to come with answer, because at the end, this is the goal, is providing the best answer. And an answer is not only text, it can go to a redirection to another page in your website, or offering assets, or redirecting to a download form, etc. So really, this is something we should design in the step two. We won't go into detail of the other streams like backend integration, designing, because I guess you already are aware of that. This is something you do when you do website projects, for instance. You have to design the interface. So these are similar steps, but a key one and a different one, in fact, is the one about designing the conversation. And so basically, at the end of the step two, we have our solution design, we have a backlog of stories created. And something really important that we would like to stress is the goal as well is to start small. So maybe the first version of your chatbot will be an MVP or a version 1, but really the goal is to have like already the main element of this MVP, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in this step 2, you learn basically how to, so the skills, how to do conversational design, and you during doing this, you will also learn it's an iterative process. So it's not a one-time shot and you will be happy. You will see that maybe you need to change the way you present the answer to the users because it's a different channel, so you can't put in long texts and so on. Maybe you want to have a different wording. So it's really an iterative process, and it's getting these skills to do that.
Exactly. So I put again, I display the different steps. So now we cover step 1, step 2. Now, as I said, we are ready. We have a good idea of our MVP. We set some priority on stories to build. We start the implementation, right? So step 3 is the implementation phase. Might be the longest one, depending on the scope. So here it will be about, of course, doing the implementation of the chatbot. So building the chatbot on the front end, on the back end, and as well again, a key element is we speak about NLP. So NLP means natural language processing. Maybe Clemens will say I'm wrong, but I guess it's that. And one key aspect as well in the step 3 is which framework to use, because there is basically the intelligence is coming from a framework, but you are the expert. So can you explain?
Yes, so for the intent classification, so to understand what the needs of the user are, we use some natural language understanding framework. So there are plenty of them. All the big players have one, and you normally take one of these. The decision which one is not necessarily technical driven, so it's not about which one is the best NLU framework. It's also to take into account how does your environment look. So you're in a business environment, maybe you got already different services from one vendor, and so you really need to take that into account. So that's the important stuff. And yeah, then you can start with setting up this whole framework and to set up your natural language understanding system.
Yes. And about implementation, we built as well a module for Adobe, Adobe Experience Manager. So if you are a customer or a user of IM, we built basically a module that is directly integrated in the backend, in the authoring interface of IM. This also it also provides or give really benefits to the end user, to the author, because they can manage the conversation in the backend and as well directly link with content from the website. And you will see at the end of this webinar that content is key for a chatbot. So you have to feed your bot and the answer with something coming from your website. So having everything in one place makes sense as well.
Yeah, exactly. So in the end, it's not the developer who maintains or who creates all the dialogues. These are normally either special conversation design experts or the authors. And for that reason, it's really important to offer them a solution which is really comfortable and helpful to create all these conversations. And also for creating then the answers, because it's close to the web content, it makes sense to search for the best solution which matches your environment.
Yes.
So of course, all these frameworks offer an interface, but in many situations that will not be the best solution for you on a long term.
Exactly. So this is as well one of the tasks to tackle, like having let's say a good integration of your chatbot interface with your website interface, because at the end you will see in the step 5, it might be or it will be the same team who is maintaining the website, the content, and the chatbot. So why not giving them the proper tool? So step 3, as you understand, it's implementation phase, where we really the developers work together with different experts, the front end, the chatbot expert, to bring all the bricks together and develop something seamlessly integrated in your website, and also with other channels that might be your marketing automation channel, or also your CRM, if you want to also already at this step in the MVP step connect with third-party solution. Now step 4, before going live. So let's say now our bot is ready, integrated in the ready in the pre-production environment. All right, everything is set up. It looks good, nice interface. Before going live, we cannot go live like this, because in fact the bot is still, sorry to say that, a bit stupid. I mean, it's like a baby. You have to teach him things. You have to tell him how to behave. And a key part, and often is misunderstood, is training data. How to train your bot. And yes, exactly. So how should we tackle that now before going live?
Okay, yeah. So in step 3, you created the whole conversations. You started with a minimal set of training data for get the AI working. And you could already test how the flows, so the journeys work, also integrated in the first designs if you had them, and you could optimize a little bit the whole stories. So that's nice starting point. But in fact, the AI gets the better, the more realistic data you have. So real world data is your friend. And therefore this phase before going live is really important. There you got everything together, you see how it looks like, and you got the opportunity to test with people which are not involved in the whole project. And these are people which are much closer to the final customers you have. And what you will learn there is they will not act the way you expect. So independent how much time you invested to plan all the journeys and the expectation what the users could ask, it will just not match. And therefore, it's really, really helpful before the go live to take the time for making some beta testing. So make some friends and family around, let them test the system, and then you see what they ask, also how they ask, because normally they phrase the things different than experts do, and you can improve the AI and also the answers and the whole stories.
Yes, exactly. So the best we have a pool of external people who can work or speak with your chatbot. If you cannot do that, you can still as well use internal people from your organization, maybe not people from the project, because as Clement just said, they already know too much the system, and they might ask questions that are close to the pattern you define. So pick people from your organization, random people, and make a pool of people who can really speak with the chatbot and build up more training data. And then you will fine-tune the answer, and yes, based on the question you got.
Yeah, exactly. And you also got the opportunity to get directly feedback for them. So you can also do interviews with them, what they suggest. And
yes.
So it really helps you to improve the system.
And this is something we often was forgotten by when we speak with customer or prospect. They don't really understand this step, but it's a key step, because before going live, you should already have of course, it will become better over time. You should already have a robust solution. Otherwise, you might give a bad feeling or bad, I don't have the word, but you know what
I mean, if you go live and the system is not enough robust and the user gets no accurate answer, so his expectations are not fulfilled. And the hard thing is the users will not return.
Yes.
So if they try out this new system, which you go live, and it just doesn't work as expected, you lose your customers.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So now we are at the end of step 4. What you see now is that we are ready to go live. Our system is already trained, and we turn on the chatbot. It's live. Now the step 5, which is basically the beginning of your chatbot. Your chatbot is live, and it won't leave. You cannot leave him alone. Basically, you have to take care of it on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. You have to enhance the user experience. You have to enhance the conversation. So here we can speak a bit about some what we call marketing operations. So we highlighted here what we think could be standard activities for your team once you're live. So you have to improve the training data. You have to optimize the answer. You have to review the conversation. You have to add missing intent. So I'm just reading the slide right now. But Clemens, again, a key step here, right? So can you elaborate a bit more what people should do?
Yes, so especially in the beginning after the go live, people will phrase the things different than you expected. So it's unseen phrases for the AI. And there it's important that you teach that to your system. So you need to label that data and improve it quite fast. So this will be a larger work in the beginning. However, over time, it gets less and less work as most of the phrases get then repeated.
Yes.
So it's really important to do that fast, as mentioned also before, because you only got one chance. And if you go live, many people try the system out in the beginning, and you need to react fast to that.
Yes. And also, I mean, what could happen, and it's clear that it will happen. You might have new content on your website.
Yeah, exactly. So that was only for training the AI for intents that you expected. And afterwards, it can also happen two situations where you have to build new intents, so new use cases in the end. And one is that you got new content on your website, so you've got a new product, a new service, or you just want to communicate a different thing. This means you need also to integrate that in the chatbot as a new intent the user can have.
Yes.
That's one thing, so that it's coming driven from your content, from your business. The other side is also that the customer just asks stuff which you did not expect. And basically what happens there, it jumps into the fallback because you cannot classify it. You don't know what the user is asking. And you've got two possibilities. Either you say, okay, we don't care about that, and it should just use the fallback, which is, sorry, I didn't understand it, or you offer some contact possibility, or you offer to jump into a live chat, or you say, hey, this intent which the user has is great, so it's important for us, and we should tackle that, which means you tell the system we need to handle also this intention.
Yes. Also, one other aspect I really like about understanding the question from the chatbot, if your business is more inbound, like let's say if you have to drive traffic to your website from Google search, understanding what people type in the chatbot, the questions asked can be also really helpful for your editorial team. Because yes, they will see questions asked by real users, and they could maybe develop or create new content based on these questions. And and create even better content that will drive even more traffic, more people using your chat, more questions, and so on.
Yeah, exactly. It can happen that not only the chatbot does not know the topic which the user asked for, but it's also missing on your website.
Yes, exactly. So really, it's a really, I mean, still we think it's underestimated or not used to its maximum. A lot of chatbot solutions are still existing, but you can do so many more things with a chatbot solution. And this is also what we wanted to highlight today, that there is, of course, it's a long journey. You have to define your vision, implement it, and then optimizing it. And this is really the key step, like keeping it alive and making it the most, adding new features, because as well, we spoke about the MVP. But once you get more mature and once you have you understand really how people behave with your chatbot, you can start to think about new features. And
yeah, exactly. So the chatbot is not a one-time shot. You really start with this MVP, so this minimal use cases. You like to go out that the user gets some good feeling, but then you need to maintain it over time. So it's really also an investment which you do for a longer time.
Yes. And also what we want to really stress is that, and this is something people don't understand sometimes, AI chatbot doesn't mean that the chatbot will just reply by alone. It's not a robot that will reply. The intelligence is in the way that it can understand the questions and redirect to the proper answer. This is where the intelligence is. But AI chatbot so far will never write automatically content.
Yeah, exactly. So the AI is really only in the understanding of the user, but to give the answer is still done by humans. So authors need to create that content and also assign which intents have which answers.
Yes.
And how we want to drive the user through the full journey in the end.
And this is why editors are key stakeholders in this project, and why also having a chatbot integrated in your website is really important. And also, I guess now you understand as well why we believe at One Insight that AI chatbot are better than rule-based chatbot. Because with a rules-based chatbot, it's created a tree of yes, no, that, and that. So at the end, it can become a huge tree, and you have to manage a lot of different nodes in your tree, where AI chatbot can be more simple on the long term.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more flexible. You don't need to maintain the full tree. And moreover, you get new insights into your customer needs.
Yes.
And that's the big differentiator.
Maybe the investment at the beginning is a bit
it's higher.
It's higher. This is clear. But on the long term, if you want really to build a serious channel, I mean, you have to invest in AI chatbot. So before showing you the final slide and going over the steps, or in fact we can, because we have some questions already, so I will highlight some questions. So again, so you see, this is really like all the steps we went through now. Here's we give you more detail. By the way, we wrote a white paper, a complete 40 pages document where we describe our methodology in detail. But basically, this is the methodology. Step 1, more or less 1 week or 2, we explain what we can do with you. Then step 2 is designing the solution. Step 3, implementation. Step 4, going live. And step 5, optimization. And we got a few questions from the audience, so I will display them now. And so can I display the message? I don't remember how it works. I have to go maybe in question mode. Sorry for that.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't. It's a change in interface of the tool recently, so I will just, you know what? I will just read the questions. So, what you would suggest? How long should be the beta testing phase be? So, what do you think, Clement? How long should it be before going live? How long you should have a beta phase in your experience?
So best if you can do multiple iterations. So if you only do it once and all your beta testers jump on it, you have only one chance to optimize it. However, if you try to a little bit, let's say, split the beta testers, that they don't come all at the same time point, you can react on the way the first users interacted with the chatbot, improve it, and see how it then works for the next ones. And because of that, it makes sense that you give them longer time to try it out. I mean, it's hard to say now a fixed number, but I suggest that you take some weeks time for that. You also can start with that, especially if it's with some people you know, before really completely everything is finalized. So while you're doing the last cosmetic cleanup and so on for getting ready for the go live, you can start already with that and then invest 2-3 weeks for really getting better with the system.
Yes. And I found how to publish the questions. So now another question. I think one of the most difficult tasks is to figure out which use cases are good fit for a chatbot and which are not. Is there a rule of thumb which use cases are good ones? Interesting question, Michael Krob. Thank you for asking that. I mean, it's basically like every project. I mean, and this is happening in the step 1. I mean, we can always kind of come with a kind of methodology to define, like the ICE methodology. What is the impact on the business case? What is the complexity? So based on that, when you have different business cases, we can do this prioritization together. I think our advice, I guess you share it with me, is that don't make it too complicated. Find a use case that has a good impact on your business, but that is not so complicated to implement because you have to learn as well at the beginning.
Yeah, also it's important identify the pain points of your customer, because it doesn't help them if it's not a pain point they have. So chatbot should really solve issues which the customer has. This can be just getting information from you, but it can also be like a lead funnel to get them through the process of buying products. And that's really depending how your business is set up, also which other tools you have around. So we can't give there a fixed answer which is the best use case to apply for.
Yes. Next one is about training data. How you can deal when there is not a lot of training data available. But in fact, when you start a project, there won't be any training data. I'm correct? You have to build them, or how does it work?
Yeah, so you have to build the training data. Either you build it by hand, that's what is happening quite often, or maybe you are in a lucky situation where you can take it from other sources like a customer support system. However, this doesn't exactly match normally. the way people phrase the stuff in a chatbot are a little bit different. So you need to see. And that's also the reason why it doesn't make sense to create a really, really huge training data set by hand in the beginning. Go into this beta phase as soon as possible and try to get real world data.
Yes. And again, the step 4, working on the training data is key, because also this is where you will create this training data database, basically. Okay. Are there any tips for editors on how they should write the answer? I will answer first, and then Clemens will tell me if I'm correct. What I would suggest is that just write naturally, because you speak to a human at the end. So just provide a natural answer that is clear.
Yeah. So really try to write naturally, but also write in a way that it's good for the channel, which is this chat dialogue style channel. And to get this feeling, don't write it just on the paper. Get into the interface and see how the answer looks there, because then you will learn, okay, it just doesn't work. Maybe it was a brilliant idea that you had if you wrote your journey in Word or wherever, but if you see it in the dialogue with your style and so on, you will learn it does not work.
Yes, exactly. And also don't write a big chunk of text, and maybe don't write text that are too complicated to understand. Don't speak like a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, also try to see what you need to cut off, what you can bring into the chatbot, and where you maybe need to jump out of this context and bring the user to other sources of content. So to the website or wherever you have it.
Last question, again, an important topic, especially in Switzerland, right? Because there is different language. So how to manage multi-language, basically? Do you need different chatbots, or how does it work? Or yeah.
Okay, so all the frameworks support multi-language. So that's a nice thing. And you have then the intents in all the different languages. However, you need to maintain the training data in all these different languages. So that's the tedious work you have. And the same is, of course, valid for the contents or the answers that you create.
Exactly. All right. So I guess we answer all your questions. We wanted to stay in the 30, 40 minutes, just to give you really a good overview of what could be the step for you if you are planning to start a project very soon, or if you are right now defining a business case for your company and you want to know what kind of resources you need internally and as well externally. I hope we gave you a good understanding of that. So final words, the closing. So what I want to say, or what we want to say, is that keep in mind that the chatbot will get better over time. I mean, when you go live, it's just getting better over time, because as we just said, it's learning every day new sentence, new questions.
Yeah. So therefore, the go live is the starting point, and you need the resources for operating the chatbot after go live.
Also start small and expand. So MVP might be a good approach, being agile. So start small with the first version and then iterate, increase it, add new features, add new sentence, new question, etc., etc.
Exactly. Don't create a huge solution to learn afterwards that it's not matching the needs of your customers. So start small.
And finally, if you want to learn more, we have a white paper. So just go on our website and download the white paper. You will read and learn a lot of stuff about chatbot project. And as well, I mean, we are not robots, we are humans. So if you want to speak with Clemens after this webinar, just drop us an email, and Clemens will be here for you, me as well, but I think he's more helpful than me.
Yeah, so get in touch with us, and we are looking forward for interesting business cases which we might solve with you.
So if there is no more question, we will close the webinar. You want to say a last word?
Thanks a lot. It was a nice discussion with you.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed that. And as I said, see you soon, maybe online, or just visit our website for more information. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.